Okay, so now I'm gonna make some cinnamon rolls while those are raising. I got the oven on. I got some of them sitting here, some of them in front of the wood stove. So they raise. See, they're raising pretty good. So cinnamon rolls. I'll make a double batch. So, truthfully, I don't always use a measuring cup.
Doing it just for the camera?
Yeah, but if it says 1 cup and I'm going to use like a coffee cup, use the same one.
Yeah.
So you don't have an 8-ounce cup and a 14-ounce cup.
Right.
All right, so 1 cup of milk. That would be for 1 batch. I'm making 2, so I'll add another one. Okay. 2 parts milk to 1 part shortening. So I'll put the milk away and then I'll put a cup of shortening in there.
These are his famous cinnamon rolls. You learned it from your mom, right?
Yep.
Who'd she learn it from?
I don't know.
We'll have to ask her. Or maybe she made it up. Who knows?
You can use vegetable oil if you want. I am a Crisco fan. That's roughly a cup.
Yeah, roughly. Give or take.
So,
2 ounces.
and you put this in here. You have to talk to it nicely to get it to come out of the cup. Like, please, just go in here. It'll be warm, I promise.
Right.
Okay, and then you turn it on like medium or medium low, and you let it get warm until the Crisco melts. But we're using the yeast that yeast is pretty sensitive. If it's too cold, it won't rise. If it's too hot, you kill it, and then it doesn't rise.
Too heavy.
So it should be around 110 to 115 Fahrenheit. So the reason I'm saying that is if I make yeast in a cup and I'm letting it rise, and then I put it in here, and this is like 150 degrees.
Right. Kills
the
it.
yeast dies and it won't raise.
Do you have your temperature thing?
Yep.
Good.
A good old thermometer.
Thermometer, yeah.
And I'm gonna have to use
There.
a sandwich bag.
That's a big
big
sandwich bag.
sandwich bag. Oh, I like big sandwiches.
Yes.
Okay, so this is apparently childproof, so maybe we'll have to get one of the kids.
Haley.
They should call it adult proof, really.
Oh, there's scissors there, babe.
Oh, you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, now it's powdery. Now I must needs be careful that I don't dump it everywhere. I usually use the yeast from like the little tiny bottles like this, but I'm out. So, okay. Teaspoon. I'll use a measuring cup for that.
Measuring cup or measuring spoon?
Spoon. Thank you. I knew what I meant. Teaspoon. So it should be 2 1/4 teaspoons per batch. So since we're making 2 batches, I will find a bigger cup.
So 4 1/2?
Yeah. Well, is Carmen San Diego? That was free. Okay, so.
You just aged yourself. So 2.
Okay, so if you don't have thermometer, use hot water and make it so that it should be so that you can put your finger in it and leave it there, but it's slightly uncomfortable, but you could keep it there. That's a good way to tell. Okay. Unless you have neuropathy, and then don't do that.
Don't do that. Right.
I don't have a measuring thing.
Oh, you had cups up here.
Okay, we'll do it this way. That's for one, and that's for the other. Okay, good enough. Now, I have to put it under the light again because I didn't rememberize what color 1 teaspoon was. Okay, so teaspoon.
This needs to be
Well,
cut.
what? Hey, wait a minute. This says 1 teaspoon is 4 mLs.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, either the measuring spoon is wrong or I've been taught wrong for a long time.
I
Because
don't
1
know.
teaspoon is supposed to be 5 mLs.
Well,
Okay, so 1, 2,
3,
3,
4.
4. You know what? Half teaspoon ain't gonna matter. I'm just gonna put 5 instead of 4.5.
Well, there.
I don't want to follow the directions all the time.
No. I mean, you know,
What would the fun be?
what would the fun be? Yeah.
Okay, so then
My
it's-
advice would
it's
be-
hungry and it wants something sweet, so I'm gonna give it some sugar.
My advice would be to not follow us completely.
Sweet, so I'm gonna give it some sugar, and because I put that much, I'm gonna give it 2 teaspoons because that's what it really would like to have.
Maybe we should write up the recipe, the actual recipe on the description.
Yeah.
So people can follow the exact thing.
Okay, so, and I found it's much easier if you rinse stuff out as you go.
Yeah, don't do it like Michelle
But
does
while
it.
you got the little video thing, I'm going to show you how sometimes things are inaccurate. So we bought this for 99 cents.
And that should tell us right there.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says the middle one. 1 quart is 2 pints or 4 cups here. Can you see it on here? 1 cup is, or 1 quart is 2 pints or 4 cups or 32 ounces or 95 liters.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, so measuring is subjective. Or,
It's just a kind of suggestion.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure I put 95 liters because that adds up to a quart. Like, wait a minute. Okay, so I'll take my little grease-covered spoon here, stir this once in a while, and I just usually leave it until the shortening melts. But the benefit, if you use vegetable oil, you don't have to wait for the shortening to melt. So you don't have to heat it as long. It should be hot, but you don't want to heat it too fast because then you scald the milk and it's not good to do that.
Right.
And I'll put this in here after. And then while that's happening, I'm gonna do it a little bit different, but how I would normally do it is I take pans like this, right?
Kind of delicious.
1 batch usually makes 2 9 by 13 and then a small one. 24 cinnamon rolls, roughly 2 dozen. Takes 4.5 hours for me, start to finish, because I let it raise and raise. But, so you grease the pan with, I'm going to grease the pans anyway, so I'll talk while I'm doing that. Okay, so what I do is I will mix 2 parts brown sugar to 1 part butter. And then put it on the stove, let it, I kind of melt the butter first and then put the brown sugar in little at a time because it seems to make it easier. 2 parts brown sugar to 1 part butter. And so on a typical, I would put maybe 1 cup of butter and a half cup of, half cup of butter and 1 cup of light brown sugar.
Okay.
You can use the dark, I prefer the light. No pun intended. I prefer the light brown sugar.
Right.
Anyway, and then what you do is you pour that into the bottom of these. So when you get your cinnamon rolls, you take your dough, you spread it out like pizza dough, right? And then you put a layer of butter smeared over it. And then you put cinnamon sugar mix. And then with the cinnamon sugar mix rolled on there, like it's laid out like pizza dough, flattened out, layer of butter, cinnamon sugar, pretty heavy. And then you roll it up. So it looks like a long roll. And then you cut it.
Which you'll
And
see.
then
We'll
you
see
put it
that
in the
part.
bottom of the pans. But I put the brown sugar, butter, caramel stuff in the bottom of the pans. And then slice the cinnamon rolls, turn them sideways in the pan. Well, then when they come out of the oven, they're really hot, obviously, no pun intended. But hot enough that they'll lift the finish if you put them on a wooden table.
Right.
So I will put a bath towel on the table and then parchment paper or wax paper or something over that. And then when they come out of the oven with mittens or hot gloves, you come over and you dump them. And then that caramel stuff goes all over the top. All right, I'll catch you in a minute. I'm gonna grease a couple more pans.
Okay.
So I got the pans greased. So normally, this instructions for cinnamon rolls. 1 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of shortening. Put it on the stove, warm it up. While that's going, you get a bowl. It doesn't have to be this size. And you put 2 teaspoons of salt. Can you hand me the salt, please? Thank you. I wonder if they think a teaspoon of 4 mLs, if this is actually a teaspoon.
I don't know.
Who knows? I try not to pour it over the dish because if you, you're gonna have a hard time because it has white sugar and salt, and you can tell them apart, but it's very difficult.
Right.
And good luck picking them apart. You can see the difference. Good luck getting it out.
Right.
So, while that's going, 1/3 cup of sugar. Now you can use a measuring cup, or you could do something like this. And do what you would think is 1/3.
Right.
Okay. You can also make bread and pizza dough and cinnamon roll dough are very similar, except for you don't want to put the sugar in if you're making pizza dough or bread dough, because when you eat pizza and the dough has sugar in it, it's just
Yeah, no,
Not
not
right.
very nice.
So, 1/3 cup of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt, but that was for one batch. I don't multitask very well. I like to call it multitasking, but it's really start a bunch of stuff and don't finish. Okay, so here's 1/3, again, another 1/3. Okay, so, put this back, and then I will put 2 more teaspoons of salt. Did I give that back to you?
You did, yeah.
Okay. One. Two. Okay, so I'm gonna sit down and explain this without multitasking. The ingredients you need: 1 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of shortening, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of butter, 6 cups of flour, roughly, a little bit of grease to put in the pans,
An egg.
2 teaspoons of salt, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of sugar, a packet of yeast. Okay, so what you do is you put the cup of milk on the stove and pan, 1/2 cup of shortening, and let that simmer. And then while that's going, you put 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/3 cup of sugar, in the bowl on the counter, or wherever your bowl is. So, and then you mix a packet of yeast. If you don't have the packets, it's 2 1/4 teaspoons. Add a teaspoon of sugar, mix it up. It'll start raising like this. It has to be warm water, like 110 roughly Fahrenheit. And then when that's done, you can, I usually use a thermometer, but because I don't always have a thermometer, here's a tip. Do not stick your finger in there to see if it's cold enough. If you think it's hot, it probably is. But you want to make sure that this is cooled down to around 115 or less, because if it's too hot, you'll kill the yeast.
And what is it right
Then,
now?
Right now, it's
Really hot?
Oh, probably, I'm guessing close to 200. It is, yeah, pretty good guess. 190. Oh, 200, right on the nose.
And it needs to be what?
200, right on the nose. It should be around 115 to 120.
Okay, so we need to let it cool off.
If it's a little bit too cold, the yeast won't raise, but when you put it in front of heat, the yeast will activate and start raising. So it's better to have it too cold than not,
Right.
than to have it too warm. So anyway, if you're not sure, let it sit for a while until like the pan is like, you can tell, like warm to the, if it's warm to the touch. And then you should be able to put your finger in it and it should feel really hot, like
Yes,
coffee kind of hot.
but doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you mix them all together and you add enough flour. I don't always measure 6 cups. You add enough flour, you start stirring it until it's thick enough to knead. You put it on the counter, you sing, I need thee, oh, I need
Right.
thee, but not every hour.
Right.
So put flour on there and add enough flour and keep kneading it until the dough does not stick to your hands or the table. But as minimum amount of flour as you can, and to make it that consistency.
Okay.
Then you roll it out with a roller or whatever you have, like pizza dough, kind of, only try to make it square, instead of round. And then you put a layer of butter, and then you put cinnamon sugar, which we have here, but it should look kind of like that. Sometimes I buy it. A lot of times I'll just put the regular cinnamon and sugar. And then you sprinkle it until it's like completely covered. I'll show you later. And then you roll it up. You slice them. You put your brown sugar butter mix in the bottom of the pans. You slice them about a 1/2 inch apart, like 1/2 inch slices. And you lay them on their edge in the pans. Then you cook them at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes. And then make sure that you have some, this countertop wouldn't be a bad thing, but if you have like one of the old wooden tables with finish that, you know, is really nice, and you put something super hot, you're gonna make the finish damaged. Okay, so now that is ready for, see the bread raised a little bit more, see, like so.
Yep. And these ones raised really good too.
So while I'm making that, I'm gonna put the bread in the oven. I got some of them out here by the wood stove. And, okay, yeah. So, remember I filled them about halfway.
Yeah. And they'll go some more in the.
They'll
yeah,
go more when I
they'll
put
go
them
more
in the oven.
Yeah.
I will go.
Your
get the
yeast
other
is really
ones
raising.
here.
Gonna be so good. Yum yum.
Okay. And take your nice donkey mittens.
You need to
I
set
probably
an
don't
alarm.
use them when I put them in the oven,
No.
but definitely, well, you know what, I might, because sometimes rather than reaching in the oven, it's easier to pull the oven drawer out.
Right. And so how long do we put these in for?
18 to 20 minutes. So what I normally do
Set an alarm.
is I set the timer for 15 minutes and I check it to make sure, because ovens are quite different.
Mm-hmm.
And what would take 20 minutes in this oven, if you cook in a wood stove or a propane stove or or a convection oven, look at that, I got them all in there.
I know. Just have to do these ones after.
So here's you see that?
I'm gonna.
You can get it before and after.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
nice.
So, and it's good to check on them, but if you open the oven a lot, it keeps letting the temperature out and then it's hard to judge. So, okay, so timer. Let's see, I'll do 15 minutes. Timer 15. Okay. So, see, this is almost out of the thing.
Right.
What?
We're gonna pause just for a second.
Okay.